The Prelude by William Wordsworth. Book 4. Those walks, well worthy to be prized and loved, regretted. That word, too, was on my tongue. But they were richly laden with all good, and cannot be remembered but with thanks and gratitude, and perfect joy of heart. Those walks, in all their freshness, now came back like a returning spring. When first I made once more the circuit of our little lake, if ever happiness hath lodged with man, that day consummate happiness was mine, wide-spreading, steady, calm, contemplative. The sun was set, or setting, when I left our cottage door, and evening soon brought on a sober hour, not winning or serene, for cold and raw the air was, and untuned. But as a face we love is sweetest then, when sorrow damps it, or whatever look it chanced to wear, is sweetest if the heart have fullness in herself. Even so with me it fared that evening. Gently did my soul put off her veil, and, self-transmuted, stood naked, as in the presence of her God. While on I walked, a comfort seemed to touch a heart that had not been disconsolate. Strength came where weakness was not known to be, at least not felt, and restoration came like an intruder knocking at the door of unacknowledged weariness. I took the balance, and with firm hand weighed myself. Of that external scene which round me lay, little in this abstraction did I see, remembered less. But I had inward hopes and swellings of the spirit, was rapt and soothed, conversed with promises, had glimmering views how life pervades the undecaying mind, how the immortal soul with godlike power informs, creates, and thaws the deepest sleep that time can lay upon her. How on earth man, if he do but live within the light of high endeavors, daily spreads abroad, his being armed with strength that cannot fail. Nor was there want of milder thoughts, of love, of innocence, and holiday repose, and more than pastoral quiet, mid the stir of boldest projects, and a peaceful end at last, or glorious by endurance won. Thus musing, in a wood I sate me down alone, continuing there to muse. The slopes and heights, meanwhile, were slowly overspread with darkness, and before a rippling breeze the long lake lengthened out its hoary line, and in the sheltered coppice where I sate, around me, from among the hazel leaves, now here, now there, moved by the straggling wind, came ever and anon a breath-like sound, quick as the pantings of the faithful dog, the off and on companion of my walk. And such, at times, believing them to be, I turned my head to look if he were there. Then, into solemn thought, I passed once more. A freshness also found I at this time in human life, the daily life of those whose occupations really I loved. The peaceful scene oft filled me with surprise, changed like a garden in the heat of spring after an 8 days' absence. For, to omit the things which were the same, and yet appeared fair otherwise, amid this rural solitude, a narrow vale where each was known to all, 'twas not indifferent to a youthful mind to mark some sheltering bower or sunny nook, where an old man had used to sit alone, now vacant, pale-faced babes, whom I had left in arms, now rosy prattlers at the feet of a pleased grandame, tottering up and down, and growing girls whose beauty, filched away with all its pleasant promises, was gone to deck some slighted playmate's homely cheek. Yes, I had something of a subtler sense, and often, looking round, was moved to smiles, such as a delicate work of humor breeds. I read, without design, the opinions, thoughts of those plain living people, now observed with clearer knowledge. With another eye, I saw the quiet woodman in the woods, the shepherd roam the hills. With new delight, this chiefly, did I note my grey-haired dame, saw her go forth to church, or other work of state, equipped in monumental trim, short velvet cloak, her bonnet of the like, a mantle such as Spanish cavaliers wore in old time. Her smooth domestic life, affectionate without disquietude, her talk, her business, pleased me, and no less her clear though shallow stream of piety that ran on Sabbath days of fresher course. With thoughts unfelt till now, I saw her read her Bible on hot Sunday afternoons, and loved the book when she had dropped asleep and made of it a pillow for her head. Nor less do I remember to have felt, distinctly manifested at this time, a human-heartedness about my love for objects hitherto the absolute wealth of my own private being and no more, which I had loved even as a blessed spirit or angel, if he were to dwell on earth, might love in individual happiness. But now there opened on me other thoughts of change, congratulation or regret, a pensive feeling. It spread far and wide. The trees, the mountains shared it, and the brooks, the stars of heaven, now seen in their old haunts, white Sirius glittering o'er the southern crags, Orion with his belt, and those fair 7, acquaintances of every little child, and Jupiter, my own beloved star. Whatever shadings of mortality, whatever imports from the world of death, had come among these objects heretofore, were, in the main, of mood less tender. Strong, deep, gloomy were they, and severe. The scatterings of awe or tremulous dread that had given way in later youth to yearnings of a love enthusiastic, to delight and hope.